Hi everybody, it's Pastor John. January 13th today. We are at one of the two sites that are the most popular, believed to be the places where Jesus died and hung on a cross. Somewhere along this way, over my left shoulder here, you can see this is the Mountain of the Skull, the Golgotha, which is what they would call it. Most people believe the reason is because you see those two impressions in the mountain, and years ago, before they built this parking lot beneath, there would have been what looked like a mouth as well, which looked like a skull face. And so they believe this is why they call this area Golgotha. Its proximity is right next to what used to be a major road or pathway that would bring you into one of the gates of the city, the Damascus gate, right behind Zoe here. And why that's important is because this would have been a very busy road during the time of Jesus' crucifixion with the Passover going on. People come into Jerusalem for Passover. They believe it was right somewhere in this area that Jesus hung on a cross for my sin, for your sin. Died. And then now we're going off, and hopefully we'll get a little video at the tomb where they believe it's very possible that Joseph of Arimathea begged to be able to use his tomb to bury Jesus' body. Hi, we're here at what we believe may be the site of the burial tomb of Jesus. Joseph of Arimathea went and asked to be able to bury the body in a tomb that he had recently dug. And this is one of the possible sites. You can see the doorway behind me here and people coming in and out. There's a trough just below us, so you can give them a shot at the trough. That would have been where they would roll a large stone to cover the opening. This would have been the room of preparation. And this would have been, on the other side of the gate here, the burial area. Hey everybody, we're at the ancient remains of the city of Beit Shemesh. This was a Levitical city given to them by the tribe of Judah. It overlooks a valley behind us here. On the other side of the valley there was another city, another town where where Samson was born. And we have over to my left, which would be the land that was conquered by the Philistines, the enemies of Israel. But this would have been the ancient city of Beit Shemesh, the exterior walls there, the defending walls of the city. And this would have been primarily a Levitical city, but a lot of amazing things. This is where the Ark of the Covenant, after it was brought back from the Philistines, after it was in the Philistine temple and Dagon was knocked over because of the presence of God twice, 2 days in a row, they found their statue. They had let the Ark of the Covenant come back on a cart drawn by two calves, and it was brought here. The Ark of the Covenant was brought here, eventually only to be brought further down the way, and then finally by David, eventually to Jerusalem, when he would dance before everyone because he was so happy to have the Ark of the Covenant there back in the hands of the Jews. So this is Beit Shemesh here in Israel. Hey, this is Pastor John here at Jersey Shore Calvary Chapel. We're in the Valley of Elah. And if you look to this side, you'll see a hill over there. And you follow that line, and Zoe's going to go completely around the circle. You're going to see a tree line. That's all hills. And you'll see the sun is setting behind that hill, and then you'll keep going around. You'll see another hill, and that keeps going around and around and around. We're in a valley until you see this hill right here behind me. This hill sets in the middle of all those, surrounded by a creek bed that we're standing in, and a big valley in between. And at the time of King David, what you had before King David, when he was just a little boy, his brothers had come out here with the army of the Israelites, and they were encamped on this hill above us. And the Philistines had taken over all the highlands around this area, and all that was between them was this valley. And at this time, they challenged the Israelites by sending out their champion, Goliath. And they sent him out here into the middle of this valley, and they said, bring us your bravest warrior. None of the Israelites were brave enough to come. And I wonder, maybe sometimes we feel like perhaps any Israelite would have felt. Where am I going to find the strength to face that big of an enemy, that big of a problem? Or we call them giants, don't we? Well, I want to talk to you just a little bit about David. He came down here. He actually came here to bring bread to his brothers and to the commanders. And when he came here, he saw a problem. He didn't face it with 100% strength. What do I mean by that? He picked up 5 stones. I picked up 4 here. I'm going to pick up one more stone. 5 stones. And he went out to face Goliath with 5 stones. Now, he could have went out with 1 stone. That would have been 100% faith. To me, I'm just making this up as I go along. 100% faith would have been, I only need 1 stone. But he went out there figuring, what the heck? What do I got to lose? I'm of the God of the Israelites. This is his land. I'll face him. Doesn't matter if I win or I lose. I'm on the right side. So he went out there. He took 1 stone, put it in a sling, and we know the story. We know the story. He ended up cutting off Goliath's head with his own sword. In other words, you don't need perfect 100% faith to face your giants. You just need to know who your faith is in. And if he's sending you and you're going in his name, you will win. Amen? God bless you guys. Hey, it's Pastor John here. We just left the very interesting memorial site here at Yad Vashem. It is a Holocaust museum and memorial site. We're going to go into the Hall of Remembrance soon. What's so remarkable to me is the depth at which humanity can sink, the potential for the depth of the depravity of humanity, and the way that we are potentially able to view one another as different when we are so much alike, and also that the repeated attempts throughout human history to eradicate the nation of the Jews, I see it not as a hatred of a specific people, but as a hatred of God himself. We have to be careful that we respect God and that we maintain a respect and defend a respect of God. I'm quite struck right now at the things I've just seen in this museum. And it'll take me a while to fully process it, but just to realize the potential depravity of humanity and the evil that we're capable of. And not that we should love any one group of people or hate any one group of people, but that we should respect God and love God more than anything. Thank you.